Today, I would like to show you 14 of my favorite books that I think every person working in creative field should read. If creativity, personal growth, or storytelling lights you up, congratulations! You just found your new favorite reading list. These books share one quiet superpower. They teach you how to see the world differently. From data that restores your faith in humanity, to design manifestos, the spiritual side of creating, to travel guides that spark aesthetic curiosity. Let's dive in. First, my favorite book of this year, Patrick Grant, Less. How having fewer, better things can make us happier. I really resonate with this book. When I read it, I feel somebody articulated and put my thoughts on the paper. Just way better than I would. I very much agree with Patrick on almost everything. Book talks about beauty, quality, craftsmanship, but also about meaning of work that I find fascinating. I highly recommend. Next, read Rubin, The Creative Act. A gentle spiritual nudge reminding you that creativity isn't a skill, it's a way of being. But more on a philosophical side, Rick talks about how to really unleash your creativity and what it means to be an artist, the good, bad, and the ugly. There is one quote that stood out. Being an artist means to be continually asking, how can it be better? Whatever it is. It may be your art, it may be your life. There is something special about this book. It's very easy to read. It has no start, no end. It's just a collection of thoughts of a man that did a lot of thinking and meditating about art. Highly recommend. Next, Adam Grant, Hidden Potential. Science of Achieving Greater Things. If there would be one sentence to sum up this book, it would be, done is better than perfect. It's full of charm, humor, it's super nice to read. Strong quote that stood out for me would be, excellence is more than meeting other people's expectations. It's also about living up to your own standards. It's impossible to please everyone. The question is whether you're letting down the right people. It's better to disappoint others than it's to disappoint you. Gawdat, Scary Smart. AI meets humanity. Artificial general intelligence, the one where AI is smarter than us, is behind the corner according to Mo. And I think this book is especially useful for creatives, as many of us are worried what will happen with all of the creative fields. Just look at the music currently. Did this book make me feel super positive about the future? Well, it did make me feel less worried, understanding more. And there are hopefully a lot of positives also coming our way. Quote, change is not the only constant. As a matter of fact, change is not constant at all. Change is always present, but the rate of change is speeding up exponentially. Things are changing faster, faster, and faster. We are not just innovating faster. Hans Rosling, Factfulness. This book would be great to pair with Scary Smart. After a bit of reading about worrisome future, this book is full of positives. A reality check that upgrades your worldview. From doom scroll to data-driven optimism. Things are actually way better than we tend to assume. Everything is improving, and Hans Rosling has the data to prove it. Deyan Sudjic, B is for Bauhaus. Book from a former director of Design Museum in London. It's a design lover's ABC, why the objects around us matter, and what they quietly say about us. I read this book when I was at the university, and it deepened my interest in design. Next, I have a couple of biographies. First one being Phil Knight, Shoe Dog. A fast story about tough choices, close calls, and building something worth chasing. If this book had one main idea, it would be, life is growth, you grow or you die. And Phil takes this very seriously, often pushing himself right to the edge to keep on going. What makes this book so interesting is how it breaks the idea that big companies like Nike were always strong, successful, and unshakable. Phil invites us behind the curtain, into the chaos, the stress, the broke again this month reality of chasing the impossible dream. Another thing that is really worth mentioning is that Phil is an incredibly talented writer. His story is fun, honest, and exciting to read. You don't just learn about Nike, you feel the journey. Next biography, Dave Grohl, Storyteller. A loud, honest, and funny ride through the life of a musician who tends to say yes and figure it out later. It's inspiring to read why Dave almost didn't join Nirvana, how he was able to adjust to numerous changes in his life. There's one quote that is worth saying: what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. Inspiring book to read. I do have few more books to show you. As a product designer, I have to add 2 books that are almost like Bible to me. First would be this massive encyclopedia of joints called U-Joints by Andrea Caputo and Anina Koivu. It shows creativity starts sometimes with the smallest pieces. It's extremely comprehensive publication that show you how to connect 2 parts in infinite number of ways. Just look at the size of this beast. It's a beautiful book, and I highly recommend you if you're a product designer. Manufacturing Processes for Design Professionals, a clear visual guide to how things are made, from a raw material to finished product. What makes it great is how easy it becomes to understand complex methods. You see how shaping, cutting, molding, and joining actually work, and you learn why certain materials are chosen for certain designs. It's older book, I think year 2007, that I bought during my studies when it wasn't that easy to find information about manufacturing processes online, but it still stood test of time to this day. Type 7 Travel Guide Milan. A stylish tour of Milan that turns wandering into an art form and curiosity into compass. This guide shows Milan through the eyes of people who truly love design, architecture, and good living. I did visit many times places from this book, as Milan is one of my favorite cities where I spent quite a bit of time. And all of them have been joy. Also, a little side note, stay tuned for our small video guide of Milan that is coming out soon. The Monocle Book of Designers on Sofas. This book invites different designers to sit down, literally, and talk about their ideas while relaxing on their favorite sofas. Spoiler alert, designers mostly like to sit on products they have designed. It's quite funny, but it's great publication for a little free time inspiration. The Monocle Book of Italy. I think I got this one from my sister. An ode to Italy's culture, craft, and effortless cool. Basically, it's a mood board in a book form. This book takes you across Italy, from busy cities to quiet coastal towns. It celebrates Italian style, food, design, and the relaxed way people enjoy life. I used it as a guide when I traveled with my family through Tuscany, and it made the whole trip even better. I can only recommend. Last but not least, I have something special. This is not really a book, but I think it's super inspiring for people from creative fields. I recently came across this magazine and I have been in awe. It's pretty much a documentary in a paper form. It's a Korean magazine called B Magazine. It's a brand documentary magazine, and each issue talks about a different brand. This one is IKEA, this one is Uniqlo, this one is Acne Studios, and Le Labo. Super inspiring, because you can dive a little bit deeper into different companies, how they deal with pretty much everything, so I highly recommend. I hope these books will inspire you as much as they inspired me. If you pick up any of them, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. I truly believe that thinking about why we do things is an important part of the process, and that is why it takes time.